guy's like a little peanut. I better be careful if I break his ass.
I might have hurt Zoe.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, closing out Future Stars Friday, the TVG Breeders Cup Juvenile. Your winner was Storm the Court in a massive upset. We're very pleased right now to be joined by, from left to right, co-owner David Burnson, and then Justin Border, winning trainer Peter Urton, and Ryan Exline. Congratulations to all of you. Thanks for coming down and joining us. Peter, I just want to get your reaction first. Pass it down. Peter, your reaction to this stunning upset.
I don't know what to say other than I'm just so proud of this little horse. He just never stops trying. When he was on the lead like he was in his first race, he had 3 horses tackle him that day, and so I knew he was going to fight, but I just didn't know if there was going to be something so strong that he couldn't fight back. But just his heart, just an amazing little horse. And he's not that little anymore. Actually, he's grown a bit since we bought him, probably a good 2-3 inches, but feels pretty good.
We're also joined by winning jockey Flavien Prat. Flavien, I understand that you were the one who suggested adding blinkers. That was turned out to be a key suggestion. Can you tell us what made you think that would be a good idea after the last start?
Well, I thought last time he ran a little green, he broke well, and then he was kind of looking around. Down the backside, he kind of lose his focus and he kind of drop back. So I thought the blinkers might, help him, and so he actually did. And I think the fact that he ran 2 turns once was a big help.
Peter, your thoughts on that? Just adding the blinkers and getting the suggestion initially?
Well, we were just a little fearful of him being too aggressive because we know how keen he can get sometimes in the morning. So his first work back after we had no shades on him, just to make sure it wasn't just because he was fresh. And his second and third works were both with blinkers, and it was just a no-brainer as far as Flavien was concerned. So it was an easy thing to do.
And was there any hesitation entering this race, coming off of the American Pharaoh and finishing more than 8 lengths behind the winner in that one?
Not really. I mean, the fact that he was so far back and then he kind of down the lane fought, and then his gallop out was something to be considered. So we knew he has stamina about him, and we didn't see the speed, so we were just hoping we'd put it all together. And sure enough, unfortunately, in the one he broke, horrible, and that allowed us to take the lead. And I think they didn't really take him serious down the backside, so he got kind of his own way there.
Flavien, obviously you were expecting to be close up, but were you expecting to be on the lead? And just tell us just describe the trip overall.
Well, I was playing on breaking well and put him in the race. Like I said, the last time he broke well and then kind of shuffled back. So I thought, I was going to break well and put him in the race and try to keep up the spot, which he did. And from that point after that, he was traveling well, and then he fought back when the horse outside came to us.
Questions?
Peter, I wanted to know if you could talk about how it feels to have an event like this, where you have a set of races with 2-year-olds without any apparent injuries, as you've got protesters outside trying to end horse racing, specifically when it comes to 2-year-olds.
Well, I think all we can do is do the best we can as far as the protocols that are in hand. I think they're very helpful, and we're all trying our best to make this the safest sport that we can. And it's unfortunate, but when any horse passes like it has, and zero tolerance is what we're looking for.
Danny.
Okay, so I guess maybe long shot Breeders' Cup wins, runs in the family. Court Vision's old man was a big long shot too.
Is that right?
Yeah. So how about the euphoria of all this?
Well, we're 2-0 when we're 30-1 in Breeders' Cup, so we're undefeated.
I think didn't that Court Vision win the mile turf?
Yeah, he was like 60-1 or something like that.
We've always thought this horse might turf too, but I don't think he's going anywhere right now.
Ron Flatter.
For the house, basically, at William Hill, you went from 90-1 to 12-1 to win the Derby. Still 38-1 in Europe. I know we're putting the cart way ahead of the horse, but if anybody's a gambler up there, you touching any of that?
Yeah, what's the number?
Went from 90 to 1 to 12 to 1.
Get out of here, really? Wow.
And still 38 to 1 overseas.
Wow. We'll have to take a little bit of that. Yeah. Let's make sure we get into some of that.
We got one from Dave.
Peter, was your game plan to go to the front, or did that just materialize when the
No,
favorite?
not really. I mean, we wanted him up in the race. We knew he didn't really want to be back there, catching a lot of dirt in his face. I mean, he seemed to run really well, opening his first race on the lead. Well, we were looking probably going to track the inside and 8 rings, but once he broke like he did and he got into the position, you're not going to take back at that point. But we were pretty happy where we were. But it wasn't the original plan, just to kind of get up in the race.
Yep. David again.
Just follow up. So when the 7 comes to your outside and it looks like he might go by, are you thinking, okay, well, if we hold on for second, we're okay, or did you think there was something left?
I knew he would fight. I just didn't know, how much. And once he did put his head out in front like he did, I knew it might be kind of interesting all the way to the wire. So.
Hi, World Horse Racing. Just wanted to get your thoughts on possibly travelling the horse for Saudi Arabia in February for the new race out there.
Oh, I don't know.
We got another one.
Huh?
We got a different horse for that race, maybe.
Yeah, we might have a different horse for that, but we're just going to embellish and just take in this as much as we can and see where we go.
Danny again.
Okay, Peter, Flavian, both of you. Another big race on the West Coast, another great ride by Flavian. What about having his services and Flavian, your thoughts on riding for a great guy like Peter?
Well, Peter, I mean, he's always easy to work with. Every time you have something to say, you can say it, and he's gonna either do it or, but at least he listen, and I think that's great. I mean, like I say, after the race, we thought that we should put a pair of blinkers, and we talk about it, and Peter was agreed to do it. So it's there's a great relationship doing that.
Thank you, Flav. Appreciate that.
How did you pay him to say that?
It cost me a bit. No, to have a guy like Flavian on your horse, he's as good as anybody that puts a leg over on each side. So, I mean, you know how well he is. He's won a lot of great races for us. He can ride on the lead, off the lead, and he rides a smart race. So, the fact that he came back and to ride him back like he did just made us feel that much better. I mean, he had choices. Trust me.
Any of you up there want to answer it? What does this do for an Eclipse Award in terms of who's going to be the 2-year-old champion?
I will let the riders, you all decide who wins those awards, or the voters decide that. We won one with Champagne Room, which was incredible, and hopefully Storm's nominated and eligible. We'll have to see what's next for him if we run again this year or wait and start his 3-year-old campaign. But he deserves to have his name mentioned, and we're excited about that, and we'll see how it comes out.
I haven't even given any
Yeah.
See how he comes out of this race today, and then go from there. We're so proud of him, and he really deserves this moment in the spotlight. So we're very happy.
He's
for
ran
him.
a couple races back to back, so we're just gonna see what we do.
Peter, in your
There you are.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
in your heart of hearts, did you think you could make up the 8 lengths on 8 rings from last time and beat a horse like Dennis's moment today? Or
Honestly, I thought it was gonna be tough. I really did. I mean, I wasn't fooling anybody. He has the numbers. We have yet to see his best race or run a race like 8 Rings has ran, as well as the favorite. I think everybody sitting here next to me probably would have been content getting a placing against some of the best 2-year-olds in the country, but we're pretty happy the way it ended up.
Ryan, maybe I'll ask you this, but this partnership also includes Susanna Wilson, Dan Huddick. Can you just give us the backstory of how you all know each other, how you all came together to own horses?
Yes, so Storm's got a special group of owners. One, most of my family's involved, so that's really special to have my brother and my dad on this horse. Their first Breeders' Cup horse, they bought into Handful with us, and this is the one to get there. So to get to the finish line with family is always incredible. And then great friends. Pete's introduced us to some great clients that have had faith in us and our process, buying horses at the yearling sale and 2-year-old sale, and for Susie Wilson and David Burnson and Chris Newport and my brother Kyle, my dad Rick, and Aaron Kennedy and Dan Huddock. Miss anybody? We got a big group. They're fun. We're ready to hit the bar. It's a special group of people, and for a special horse. And Pete has helped bring us clients, which has helped to grow our business. And he does an excellent job, as you saw today, conditioning a racehorse. So we're all very happy for each other.
Another quick, Ron.
The fact that you got 20 points now on the Derby trail, does this alter your thinking about what you would go forward in doing in terms of candidate races and things like that?
I'm thinking you probably would give it some thought. I mean, I think that's everybody's dream. I know this horse, pedigree-wise, can go all day long. Court Vision went a mile 3/8 to a mile. He went, so it's always in the back of your mind, and it would be a whole lot of fun, I'm sure.
Art Wilson.
Yeah, Peter, regarding the suggestion on the blinkers that Flavian gave you, how valuable is when a jockey gives you information like that? And do you look for riders who can offer you insights like that?
Well, the intel you can get from a rider is so important. When they don't have anything to say, that's when I kind of look the other way. But you ride these guys that have something to say is really important.
Who could perhaps speak to the horse's purchase at OBS and maybe also if you know anything about the breeder Stepping Stone Farm and if you've been in contact with them?
So we bought this horse out of the April OBS sale. Rhett Farrell begged me to buy it. We're looking at another one, which we bought also, but this one kind of fell on. It was really a back ring buy for us, and for $60,000, we felt that we had a good mover and a good athlete. Wasn't a ton of pedigree on the page, but we got a horse that we felt had some talent. It was not Breeders' Cup nominated, and so before his first race, the July deadline, we talked to the owners. We felt good enough about his works to pay the $12,000, which was the best $12,000 I've ever spent, to nominate to the Breeders' Cup, to be able to run today. So that was a blessing that we did that, and so that's where we picked him up at, and great purchase, great buy. Moret and her team, Zoe and Tesha, they do a great job of finding a good racehorse at a good price.
David, these guys are being very cool, and I'm looking for someone I can bait into talking about the Kentucky Derby. Any thoughts on what could happen next spring?
I think that the Kentucky, this horse obviously looks like he can handle 2 turns. The Kentucky Derby, the way it's structured now with the point system, I think Ron said we had 20 points. I think we have 22 actually from the other race. But it used to be you really have to kind of gauge your races. You have to go hunt for the points. Something Bob Baffert does better than anybody else. I had a horse last year, Signal Man, that I think we almost had 41 points or something and didn't make the Derby. So I think Pete Urton's got to come up with a plan if that's what the plan is.
We're gonna figure that one out for sure. So we need 20 points more, maybe 25.
10 will probably be good this year.
No, and
I like the idea.
I think.
And just if anybody knows anything about Stepping Stone Farms and
Are they
this
here,
colt's
Stepping Stone
origin,
Farms here?
The origins before the sale.
They're right
Hello.
back there. There
We,
they are.
we,
They bred them.
If we could we get you all to introduce yourselves and maybe tell us a little bit about this colt?
My name's Jim Power. I live in Lexington, Kentucky, and like they said earlier, right now I only have 2 mares. This horse was a 4th generation. I raced his mother, and I had her mother, and I had her mother. And I just was happy that this horse got a chance to run his race today. And I can't say enough for a small breeder. It doesn't take $1 million horse to win a race.
Did you ever have a feeling going up to the sale that this was a special horse?
They're all special.
Brian Rice is the person that bought this horse from us at the sale, and I didn't beg him, but I came real close to begging him because not only do I know Brian Rice, but I know the whole Rice family, and I knew their father, and they're all excellent horse people. For sure. And I knew he would be in good hands, and I called him over the winter and a couple times just to ask how the horse was, and then he told me he was going to put him in the sale, and he had a fantastic work at the sale, and these people bought him. And I can't say enough.
I'm so glad you were here today to see it. Congratulations to you all as well. Any other questions in the room? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, just wondering if you had any thoughts about whether you had a home track advantage, whether that helped you being based here.
Oh, absolutely. I think it is a big advantage to train here. And I mean, for the guys that ship in, I know how bad it is if you're not up in the race. And the kickback is tough here. But it's a track that I think you need to train on. Is anybody that'll tell you that. So answer your question is a definite yes.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Congratulations.
Thank you.